Hello, welcome to Pecan Corner. I'm Tina, and today I'm going to be harvesting my garlic. I planted some of this back in the fall, in November, December, and then there's some other that I didn't get planted until February. So it's kind of interesting to see how the different ones grew. The ones that we're looking at right now are Sicilian. Wait, no, they are okay. These are from the community garden. These are not ones that I know what the variety is, but it was a small white with red wrapper. Outer wrappers were white, the inner cloves have red wrappers, and had 2 to 4 cloves per head on it. What you're seeing on these are these are called scapes, and these are the flower heads. And they say to remove these to help the garlic to grow bigger. But the other things that I've read have talked about going ahead and harvesting your garlic once the lower leaves start dying, instead of waiting like we do with onions until they fall over. And so these are really ready to harvest. And as you can see, these are pretty tall. They're up past my knee. So these are probably about about a yard high. Now I've got some other ones over here, some other different kinds that didn't grow as well. Let me show you those. These just darn near went further than they should have. I'm hoping that when I dig them up, that they will not have started separating. They say that the cloves will start separating once these leaves start dying out like this. Now this was planted at the same time as that we just looked at, and it's called Viola Francaise. And it's a soft neck variety. That we just looked at was a hard neck. Only the hard neck ones send up scapes. So this one did not grow nearly as well, and as you can see, it's ripening a lot earlier though. So it's an early variety, obviously. This was about 2 foot tall before it started dying off. So this I'll definitely have to remember is an early variety, and get it in the ground sooner and get it dug up earlier. We've had a lot of rain that's knocked things over. This, look how strong this one is. This is called Rose de Lautrec, and this is the famous garlic from France. If you'll see, this was only planted in February, and it is already as tall as the other that I planted, the community garden stuff that I planted in November. This one is the one that's it's kind of like our Vidalia onions. In France, the laws protect the region that it's grown in, and it's the only one that gets to call that. Only when that variety is grown in that region are they allowed to call it de Lautrec. But this is the same variety, so I'm very excited to see it doing so well. I got, it does not look like it has to be harvested yet, so I might not harvest it yet, because see, it hasn't really, there's one leaf that's died on it so far, but the other ones are still looking really robust. So I think I'd like to let it grow a little bit longer and maybe get a little bit bigger before I go harvesting them. Trying to be blank, trying to think, I went blank there for a minute. So anyway, it's amazing how well it's doing compared to the other, and it's been in the ground so much less longer. Okay, this one is called Blanco Piacenza, and it is a soft neck variety. I ordered a lot of soft neck ones when I bought this seed garlic, because I wanted to eventually make garlic braids. Our at the time our farmers market was open, and I thought I'd be able to sell them there. Unfortunately, it has closed. It's not going to be open this year, but I still think I can probably sell garlic braids out front of the house. So anyway, and if not, then we've got plenty of garlic. You know, I'll dry it and make our own garlic powder. But this also has done really nicely. See, it doesn't have any scapes growing. It's just the soft necks just don't get those scapes. It's ready to harvest. It's got two lower leaves dying on each one. But see, it got nice and tall too. It also got to be about 3 feet tall. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go get my get a spade or a fork to dig this up with. This is not like onions. The bulbs don't come up out of the ground to make it easy to just pull them up. If I pull on this, it's going to break the bulbs off and break the leaves off the bulbs, and the bulbs will stay in the ground. So I've got to dig it out real carefully. Now then, I've got my little map of where everything is. Bob Anderson, who has gourmetgarlicgardens.com website, I've gotten to meet him several times, and in fact he is who I got this Rose de la Trek seed garlic from. He said you have to be really careful to keep garlic separated, the varieties separated when you're growing it, and when you pull it, to be sure to keep it together, each variety separated very well, because he said otherwise, once it's cured, it's very hard to tell them apart, and so you can get really confused really easily on which variety that you've got. Apparently, the differences are very subtle. So what I've done is I've got some flagging tape here, and I'm going to tie each bundle up with this flagging tape and write the name of the variety on it as I'm gathering it. I'll have to retie it in order to set it aside to cure. Since this is my first time to do this, I'm kind of taking some extra steps, but I want to be sure I don't get it all confused with each other. So that's, oh, and I also wanted to say, here we go. Now this one had turned upside down, so it stayed, it didn't fade out, but the others that I used these lids as labels on, the Sharpie marker faded completely out on them in the sun. So unless you use a paint marker, I'd advise using a paint marker if you're going to use these lids as variety markers, because the Sharpie just won't hold up to the sunlight. Okay, I'll be back in a few. Okay, I'm digging up these with, see the fork can just sit under them and it'll just raise them up like that. Now I can just pull them up and dust them off. There we go, just real gently. Some of them are very small. Those are the ones I'll use to eat. They say that you need to save your biggest, nicest ones to replant, because the bigger bulbs will grow bigger, the bigger cloves will grow bigger pods. Okay, here's one that, let me see if I can get this where you can see it. This one right here. See how it's already started to separate? The papers are in this one too. See how the papers have come off of it? So those I'm going to need to replant pretty soon, because they're not going to keep very long. So that's what I'll do, is I'm going to pull these out now, because I need to fix my beds in order to replant them first. So they'll keep for a few weeks while I work on getting that done. But that's what happens when you let them stay in the ground too long. See, the papers start falling off and the cloves actually start separating, because that's, you know, each one of those cloves is a new garlic plant, so it's natural for them to do that. So I'll get the rest of these up here. Yeah, these are really small, so I'm going to have to replant most of this, and hopefully next year I'll have a better crop of this variety. They say that garlic adapts itself really well to, that's the whole point of it, is it'll adapt itself to the local conditions. And that's why you hear about so many different varieties, and there are so many true heirlooms out there. Because once my garlic has grown in a certain place, it becomes naturalized to our area. Yeah, these are really small. Okay, let me turn this off, and oh, that's kind of interesting. This one has actually, look at that. It's making a new kind of a bulbule on the top of the bulb there, on the top of the pod. So that's kind of interesting, because these are some that don't make the scapes. So that's actually a I don't know even what that is. But that's something else that they'll do if they stay in the ground too long, is they'll try to go to seed. Okay, so there's my first batch tied up. I've gone ahead, I had two that broke off, so I've tied them with their roots into that bundle so that I won't get them separated. So now I've got that labeled. So now I'm going to set these aside and go on to my next one. Okay, now I'm going to pull up the Blanco Piacenza, and I've got my little labeled piece of tape here. Oh yeah, now this is a nice looking, these are some nice looking big bulbs. At least some of them are. This one is right here is a good one. I'm going to let it cure for a little while, and then I'll be able to knock that dirt off of it. But see, that's a nice big garlic bulb. That's going to be a good variety for me, because here it is planted with the other that we just got through digging that didn't get big at all. So this one, will actually probably grow bigger as time goes on in this spot. So that's a really good thing. Now these are a soft neck, so I can braid them. That's even better. A couple of spots here where I didn't get it dug, so I'll leave them sit there and go back. Now see, here's a small one. This is what they say about using the best cloves, because then you get your best genetics. I planted every clove I had. See this one has died down. It's got 5 dead leaves, and so as you can see, it's already started losing those papers too. So that's not good. So I'm gonna have to come back with my fork and dig out these others that I didn't get to. But yeah, this is showing that it can do in the best, circumstances. So don't be disappointed if your first ones come out. They don't come out small. They should get bigger as time goes on, and give you some like that you can be proud of. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, now I'm not going to leave these like this, but I'm now going to need to hang them up so they can cure. But I just wanted you to see the final product of the digging. I've still got a little more to do, but I want to finish this off. I'll do a separate video to show you digging my wild heirloom, what they call elephant garlic, because I haven't dug it yet either. And that normally people don't dig, they just leave it in the ground all year round. So I'll do a second video on that. And then I'll do another one once I start preparing these to get them ready to cure, so that you guys can see that. But this is where we are for today. There's digging up my garlic. It's the cloves are all different sizes. When I went to plant the cloves, I planted the least little bitty ones along with the great big nice ones too. And as a result, I can see the difference in the size of my garlic pods. There's some that are nice size, and then there's some little bitty ones. So but I think that's probably going to happen everywhere. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this, and this didn't take up much space at all. If you've got a flower bed, you can stick some garlic in it. So I hope this will make you want to try growing your own garlic. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.